Hey guys, it's Mr. Like again, and I gotta tell you, making these videos takes a lot of energy. I need to prep myself back up with one of these energy bars. Energy is one of the biggest topics in science. It is very important. Does energy have anything to do with the car jumping over the ramp? Let's find out. If we can understand energy, we're going to understand a lot about science. Hi everybody, it's Mr. Like again, and I'm here in the Donald A. Schaefer Planetarium at Bettendorf High School to talk to you about the most important topic in all of science. If you ask me what is the one thing that you need to know about science in order to understand everything, it would be energy every time. So let's talk a little bit about energy. There is energy all around us, and it comes in lots of different forms. One of the forms it comes in is called chemical energy. Chemical energy is when different atoms interact. It's actually what happens when I eat my candy or my energy bar. The energy that's in the molecules in here goes into my stomach, and my acids and things in my stomach convert it into chemical energy, which allows me to move. The definition of energy in all of these is the ability to make things move. Okay? So another type of energy we look at is maybe light, right? Light energy, especially light coming from the sun, can give plants through photosynthesis energy. And then that energy can turn into sugars, which can then allow us, through our food, to make things move. Also, if you've ever seen plants growing up through sidewalks, they can actually move things in the sidewalks as well. We have what's called nuclear energy inside the teeniest, tiniest nucleus of an atom. It's involved with giant nuclear explosions or nuclear power plants. We also have what's called electrical energy. Electrical energy has to do with those little protons and electrons inside atoms. The fact that they like each other or don't like each other allows us to move and push things with electricity. But the energy I want to talk about today is called mechanical energy. It's the energy that has to do with the car going down the ramp. There are two types of mechanical energy. There's what's called potential energy, and there's what's called kinetic energy. And I want you to do a quick investigation to see if you can't figure out what both of those are and how they work. I got a short little simulation that I want you to play with. There's a link below that involves kinetic and potential energy. It basically has to do with a roller skater, a skateboarder going through a half pipe. And it's going to tell you where is the potential and where is the kinetic. So as you play with this simulation, I'd like you to write down some observations or things that you notice about the kinetic and the potential energy. Where is the kinetic energy? Where is the potential energy? Let me show you how the simulation works. Okay, when you open the simulation, you're going to go to Intro, and you'll see that we got a skateboarder here that we can place on our track. And when you let him go, she rolls back and forth. You can start and stop at any point. What I want you to do is add this bar graph, and you'll see that on the bar graph you have potential and kinetic energy, and the total energy actually. The height of those graphs tells you how much energy there is. You can choose different tracks if you would like the person to go, and even in some of the other ones you can create your own tracks. I would suggest doing this in slow motion so that you can see how these energies change as the person moves. You may want to stop and pause them as they move through the simulation as well. But really just play around with this and see if you can't figure out where those energies are and how they work. Instead of a bar graph, you could use a pie chart. If you see the pie chart's right above her head, and it tells you how much potential and how much kinetic energy she has at each point on the track. Feel free to pause at different points to see how this pie graph tells you the same. So what do we find out? Well, we found out that the potential energy happens to be at the top of the ramp, and the kinetic energy is at the bottom of the ramp. That's where it's mostly kinetic. Did you notice that as the potential energy got smaller, the kinetic energy got bigger? Well, what about the total energy? The total energy in the system, it stayed the same, didn't it? We have a law in science. It's the biggest law in all of science. It's called the law of conservation of energy. And if you've ever heard the word conservation before, you know it means to not lose anything, not to break anything or destroy anything. Things need to be conserved. Energy is always conserved. So in that situation, the energy at the top, the total energy at the top, is the same as the total energy at the bottom. But it's just a different type. It goes from the potential to the kinetic energy. Let's talk a little bit about potential energy first. You see this brick? This brick sitting here in my hand, does it have energy? Well, it's not really doing anything. Is it pushing anything? No. Does it have the ability to push anything? Well, not right now. But does it have the potential to push something? Potential meaning, under the right circumstances, given the right situation, could it do something? We often hear the word potential with athletes. We always hear like, yeah, that kid's got lots of potential, right? Well, what that means is, yeah, that kid's maybe not doing great things right now, but under the right circumstances, they could be doing some really cool things. The same thing applies with this word potential. This brick's not doing anything right now, but under the right circumstances, it could really do some pushing. Now, what could I do in order to make this push something? Well, I could drop it, right? If I drop this and it hits my foot, that's going to definitely push my foot, and it's going to hurt. So let's talk about some of the things that would make it hurt my foot more. Well, what are some things that I could do to change this to make it hurt my foot more? Well, I could drop more than this, right? I could put more weight on there and drop it. That might hurt a little bit more, a bigger brick. What if I dropped it from up here? Would that hurt some more? Sure it would. The height of an object determines the amount of potential energy it has, also the weight. So your car on your ramp, if you moved it higher and higher off the floor, it has more what we call potential energy. It has the ability to do something, even though it's just sitting there at the beginning. Now, just like the skateboarder, as the car goes down the ramp, that potential energy turns into what we call kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is the energy of movement. When things are moving, when things are flying through the air, when things are rolling around, we call that kinetic energy. When something's moving, it definitely has the ability to push something. You know, you think about a football player running through and then it has to tackle somebody. It can definitely push something. So kinetic energy is the energy of motion. Did we see that in the simulation? When the skateboarder came down the incline, it turned into kinetic. They were going fast. So in your car, it has both potential energy at the top and kinetic energy at the bottom. Let's take some time to draw a model for the skateboarder going down the half pipe. If we looked here, the half pipe, let's just look at this part of the half pipe. The skateboarder at the top, I'll draw a little skateboarder here. She had energy. What kind of energy did she have? That's right, she had potential energy. So she had potential energy up here. What about at the bottom? Once the skateboarder came down here, what kind of energy was it? Well, that was kinetic energy. She had potential energy at the top, kinetic energy at the bottom. A lot of times scientists will look at that in terms of a graph. Now the graph that you saw were bar graphs. One went up, one went down. I'm going to show you a different way to model this. At the top, I'm going to make a pie graph. A pie graph is a circle. The circle represents all of the energy that we had in the system. And in that case, it was potential energy. So I'm going to make this dark. All potential. We're going to say that dark part of the circle is potential energy. What about at the bottom? What would my circle look like? Well, if it's kinetic energy, the circle would be the same size because the total energy was the same, but we're going to keep it white because white is what we're going to call kinetic energy. What about moving down the incline? What happened to the energy? Well, the potential energy went down and the kinetic energy went up. How would we draw that with our diagram? Let me look at it right in the middle. Right in the middle, we're going to draw another circle that's the exact same size. And why do we make it the same size? Because the total energy is the same. But in this case, we have part of it is potential and part of it is kinetic. In fact, it's about half and half because it's about halfway down. So I can draw, and I'm going to color in half of this. So here we see it has potential energy at the top, kinetic energy at the bottom, and it has both potential energy and kinetic energy on its way down. Can you do this for your car? Can you make a model of how the energy changes in your car as it goes down the ramp? Start with a picture of the ramp in the car, and then use 2 or 3 or 4 or even a bunch of these different things, these different graphs that show how the energy changes as it goes down. Once you're done, send it in and take a picture of it and send it to your teacher or bring it into class. We'd like to see if you understand how energy works in this system.